In this video, I'm going to share with you what I believe is happening in the crypto market right now. I'm going to be sharing with you some of the patterns I see on the chart, what I think is happening with a lot of the economic stuff, what I see on the charts, and then also explain whether or not I'm still bullish or if I've switched to bearish when it comes to crypto. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So on the chart right now, I've got Bitcoin. And over the past couple of weeks, we have had a significant sell off from our all time highs up here around 100, almost $110,000. This was back in late 2024 as well as early 2025. So we had this big red candle. Actually, we had this big wick down in February, and then we had this huge candle down to start off March, and we've come back to this level of support. And I've got this trend line drawn. This trend line is connecting the two highs that we had from our previous cycle high back in 2021. We have broken above that, and we kind of have this breakout move. And I believe that we are actually retesting this level. So, kind of cluing you in on a little bit of what I see right now with Bitcoin. But we were at the highs above 100,000 and we got pushed down. We're actually coming back to this 50-week moving average, this yellow line right here. And so we went as far as like 76,000 per coin, all the way from above 100,000. I think for a lot of people, they're wondering like, okay, is this the end? Is this the end of the bull market? Is this, the start of the bear market? And you've got a lot of things happening with the economics. You've got a new president. We've got tariffs coming out. We've got threats of trade wars. We've got inflation we're still dealing with and interest rates. All of this stuff going on at the same time. And not only crypto, but the stock market has also been selling off as well. Let me pull that up, because even inside of the US stock market, we have the NASDAQ selling off pretty strong. We're above 22,000 and it went to a low of below 19,000. So just a measured move from there. 14%, that's a lot for the stock market, kind of over consecutive weeks. We've got 4 red weekly candles, strong ones with lots of volume. Same thing can be said for the S&P. It's also selling off 4 red candles in a row. So there's a lot of uncertainty in the market right now. And one of the things that I've learned when it comes to financial markets is when there's uncertainty, people flee away. The market doesn't like uncertainty. So when there's threats of tariffs, a trade war, inflation, recession, any of that type of stuff is uncertain to the market. And usually dollars flow out of the market during that period of time. And that's exactly what we've experienced over the past couple of weeks, mostly to start 2025. So what do I think is going to happen soon? Well, I think what happens over the next couple of weeks is going to be very crucial. There's a lot of things that are happening in the US economy. There's going to be another Fed meeting coming up in actually just a few days. And depending on that meeting, that could bring some more certainty to the market. Then there's also the ongoing situation of the trade war and these tariffs with the US, Canada, Mexico, China, and others. And if that can settle down, I think that will also give some certainty to the market. Now, when it comes to what I see on the charts, the technical analysis part of things, I believe that what happens over the next few weeks is going to be really crucial, because we're at a period, we're at a place, a price level where we could get a potential reversal to the upside. So, kind of cluing you in on what I think. I don't necessarily think we're headed for a bear market yet, or at least from what I see, I think there's still a chance that we're still in a bull market. And what gives me reason for that is the setup on these charts. So, as you can see, we've got, Bitcoin price coming up, breaking this consolidation here, and I've even got these labeled as A, B, C, D, E, kind of an expanding diagonal, and then we break out of that. So what was previously resistance here, and then also two highs from the previous cycle, right around 70,000, that was resistance, and then we finally broke out of it. Now, typically, what can happen for price breaking resistance, it will then test support. It will test the previous level that it just broke out from. And we had not quite done that until just now. And where we're at right now, you could say that we're retesting this. We're retesting this level of resistance that now potentially could be support. And not only that, but we have this 50-week moving average that's coming right to this level of support. We do have some candles, some really strong red candles, but they are suggesting that buyers are stepping in a lot. So with this red candle here, price came all the way down at one point, but then pushed right back up. So that means that, yes, people were selling, but then there were buyers that stepped right up. Now, on the next candle right after that, we do have price coming back down and closing here. But now that we're in another week, it's got another day or so left on it, but we do have price that came down even lower than the previous two candles, but buyers have been stepping up. So this tells me a couple of different things, and we can go to a lower time frame to kind of see what could be happening further. So in general, one of the things that I've learned with markets is the market moves obviously in waves, but then it also looks to find liquidity. And I'm not necessarily going to go into the whole market manipulation type thing, but when it comes to the whale money or people who are looking to take advantage of the markets, they do need to find liquidity. In other words, when they want price to go up, they need to accumulate shares. They need to accumulate Bitcoin, shares of a company or coins in the form of crypto. So if they don't have that because other people are holding on to it, it makes sense that they would drive the price down to force people to sell their coins so that they can accumulate them before price continues to go up. And so someone would consider that could be explained, I guess, as market manipulation, but it's really just finding the liquidity. And so I'm not saying it's not market manipulation, but it's just trying to understand why price moves sometimes in the direction that it does and when it does. So you can look at this example here, and if let's assume that we're still in a bull market and Bitcoin has a ways to go to the upside. If you're someone who knows that, wouldn't it be useful for you to have more shares of Bitcoin before it goes higher? In my estimation, the answer would be yes. And if you're a market maker, if you're a whale, then you want to accumulate as much as you can before price goes higher. And well, where do you get that from? You get that from other people who are participating in the market. But how do you get them to give up their Bitcoin? Well, you force price to go down to a point where they want to sell it to you. And I think that's essentially what we have happening right now. And obviously this repeats on lower time frames and on higher time frames. But I think it can be very, I could see a situation where the past couple of weeks have been a short sell off, a rather quick one, in an effort to get more accumulation. It's going to find the market is trying to find the liquidity. It wants to find the sellers. It wants to force people to sell before price goes higher. Now, you might have a different view, and if so, I encourage you to let me know in the comments, or if you do agree with what I'm saying, let me know in the comment section. Would love to discuss it there. So I think we have a sell-off. We have a forced amount of people who had to sell because they also had stop losses or they were over leveraged and were forced to sell their position, exit their position, and that allowed the whales or smart money to capture that before we're going to see price continue to go up. And during these sell-offs, when price does go down, there is a certain point where there are no more sellers. It's almost like musical chairs. Like once all of the chairs have been taken, there's still going to be a person or multiple people who are still left standing. That's because all the chairs are taken. In a similar way, there's a certain point where there's no more sellers. So price has nowhere to go but back up because all the people are done selling. All the people who want to sell, who are forced to sell, are done selling. And now the buyers can step in and push price higher. That's what I think is happening, and it's happening around a key support level, as I had just mentioned a couple of minutes ago. So with the stock market falling, and one of the other things I'll mention is that I feel sometimes that what happens in kind of the news falls right in line with the market timing of things. And it's almost like the market actually is what's driving some of the news related events and the timing of it. Because yeah, we had, scares of tariffs and, inflation and this and that, and that's when we saw the sell off. And I won't be surprised that if with this Fed meeting that's coming up, if there's something that gives more life to the market. And it's interesting because we're right at a support level. We're right at a support level right now, right here, around, really above 75,000, and certainly above 70,000. So we'll see what happens with this Fed meeting, but I wouldn't be surprised with the timing of it if there is something that supports Bitcoin going higher, some type of catalyst, some type of sentiment that buyers are now ready to jump back in, and smart money is going to push the price higher. And then getting back to some of the technical things, I've been talking on this channel a lot about this cup and handle pattern. And I see it right here, and I think it's still a valid pattern. In fact, it's playing out really well. We've got this cup part, we've got the handle, we've got the breakout, and now we're just in the retest. And so it's looking very good, assuming we stay above definitely this section over here. But we're just looking for price to get a nice turnaround going to the upside. That will make a lot of folks happy. And I think we'll be able to continue what we've been seeing with Bitcoin ever since basically the start of 2023. So that's kind of my thoughts of what's happening right now. Let me know in the comment section what you think.